This is a follow-up to my first video about the Fostex X15 4-track cassette recorder and the use of a stem separator app to expand old recordings. By the way, you can use the app on normal stereo recordings, of course. If you haven't seen the first one, do click the link. It shows you the method I used to revitalise a cassette recording from 40 years ago without making any purchase. This time I've subscribed to the app in order to get more stem separations and to enable the downloads to be in WAV form rather than MP3. Having mentioned the S word, please do subscribe to my channel. I feel like a proper YouTuber saying that. That's what they say, isn't it, these YouTubers? But no, seriously, there's plenty of bands and home studio stuff and reel-to-reel on there, as well as vintage cine film from Blackpool to New York. Random goodies. I was quite surprised to see how many people have nostalgic memories of the Fostex. I bought mine in 1983 on the strength of this advert on the back of Home Studio Recording magazine. I really thought I was the only chap in Lancashire who had one of these machines. And look at this. It's the 1980s equivalent of a smartphone with GarageBand. 10 C cells made it portable. Did anybody ever use the battery pack? I didn't. As the record button was mechanical, you had an air-operated punch-in. Really tricky to use, stamping on the orange thing whilst holding down that cord that you cocked up on the last take. It seems the air tube wasn't made to last 40 years, oh dear. But don't fret, it appears to be the same as the B-stop cable for old-style camera shutters. So, recording to Cubase. Of course, other DAWs are available. You can even remix within the online app, but the beauty of this whole procedure is that you can add compressors, EQ, reverb to the new split tracks individually. For instance, I would often like to add reverb to the snare or cymbals, but keep the kick drum dry. And of course, paying for Fader Plus means you can download in WAVs, not MP3s. Upload each of the 4 tracks as we did in the first video, but now we can split the drums 3 ways and others umpteen ways. Sometimes the splits don't sound great. I watched Giles Martin showing how he separated drums, bass and guitar from the backing tracks of Taxman by the Beatles. It sounded great. 2 reasons for that. 1, they had the best software on the planet. And 2, they were dealing with superbly recorded music on reel-to-reel tape, not low dynamic range cassettes recorded on cheap mics. The drums split nicely here, but the individual tracks can sound poor in isolation. My thinking is that the stems may split instruments imperfectly, but what is missing or added to the sound gets pretty well added back by the other splits, so long as the final mix isn't wildly different. This recording splits the drums reasonably well. Be fair, it's on one of my DIY kits, where the kick drum is a big plastic bucket. The guitars and keyboards are all over the place, so best left as 1 track, which they call others. Here's a live recording of my band Fallout, where the bass separates well and the keyboards split reasonably from guitar.
People may say there's a dream that won't die behind those eyes. Of your dreams,
So summing up, depending on the quality of the original, you can decide how much splitting is needed for the best set of tracks. Then you can just play with your expanded multi-track. What a joy that this is possible at all. I still call it witchcraft. I'm so glad that I resisted the urge to throw away all my old cassettes, and I still have absolutely loads of them. Have a listen to the result of the MP version that I did on the first video. It's about 7.5 minutes in.